Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Rob from Crypto Bobby, and appreciate you taking the time to join for another crypto happy hour. Wanted to hop on YouTube tonight to take the time to really talk about the market movements for the day and answer obviously all the questions that you guys have as we hop into it. So if there's any issues in terms of hearing anything on this, or if there's any technical issues, definitely let me know. Looks like the stream is up, ready, and live and getting kicked off. So again, appreciate you guys taking the time to hop in and talking about the crypto world as we know it. So Mark, what's up? Christopher, Alex, what is happening, everybody? What is happening? Give me a second here just as I pop into the live here to make sure everything is looking good kind of on my end. Sweet. Perfect, guys. Perfect. Awesome, everybody. Advertising videos about BitConnect. Yeah, man, I'm the millionaire. I don't even know why I'm having this conversation tonight, because I'm already a millionaire. And so I don't even know why I'm talking to you guys, because I'm already a BitConnect millionaire, and if you're not yet, you should. I'm kidding. Hope you guys enjoy the video today, and thanks again, everybody, for 20,000 subscribers. Just was doing a little bit of something fun there. What is up, John in San Francisco? Hope everything's all right with the wildfires and all that stuff. Sweet. So I'll hop into it, guys. If you have, as far as it goes, guys, if you have questions, on anything, I try to get to as many as possible. But if there's something you absolutely must have answered, just sound off with a super chat. I'll absolutely answer it if you do a super chat. Otherwise, I try to get to as many as I possibly can as well. And one of the first things, so somebody mentioned Stellar Lumens, and this is definitely an interesting crypto today that we can talk a little bit about. I mean, if we're looking at, we got 7 days here, crazy spike from 18 cents all the way up to 40 at 1.45 cents, and now it's down to 36 cents. So it's still up about 100% on the day, which is pretty damn nuts. And the reason for a lot of that, and something that's pretty interesting, is IBM is apparently getting ready to utilize Stellar Lumens for cross-border payments. This was news that came out. It actually happened last night. I was sleeping. It was like, hey, what's up from Boston, man? Actually happened last night, I think at like 1 a.m. or something like that, or at least that's when this article was published. So I was fast asleep. I wasn't trading it. Unfortunately, I woke up and this was up 150%. So this is the type of thing where, quite frankly, a lot of times, if you're trying to buy on the news, it's too late. I don't know the actual hour difference here, so it looks like it wasn't too bad. I think this happened in the dead of night, so you could have in some cases bought the news a little bit, but this was, I think, an interesting scenario because the price literally rocketed like 150% or so, basically off of this news and article about IBM utilizing Stellar. So with that being said, it looks like it's pretty much priced in, and the markets has taken that 100% and is somewhat settling around that range as far as Stellar Lumens is going. But a pretty cool example of what happens when positive news comes out about a cryptocurrency. And obviously great if you had previously had money with it, if you previously had money in Stellar Lumens. On the other end of the spectrum, I tried to play, speaking of buying the rumor and selling the news, I tried to, just really even for an example purpose, but if I hop over here to Twitter, I forget the guy's name from Bittrex, but let me see if he tweeted anything. But Bittrex added, there we go. Yeah, Richie. So I think Richie is the CEO of Bittrex maybe, or involved in Bittrex somehow, but he tweeted 7 hours ago or so that they were adding salt to Bittrex. And I immediately tried to go into Binance and buy it. And by the time it was being added to because it was already on Binance, by the time I got the ETH and everything queued up, which literally took like 5 minutes, salt was up, I think 40%. And I tried to piggyback it and see if I could, get any benefit out of it. and then I wasn't able to get anything. So from that perspective, like it literally, this was the tweet right here. Pretty nuts to see. So here's the tweet, it was at 293, started trading all the way up to about $4, and then immediately sold back off and is now kind of trailing off a little bit. So goes to show, from if you're not, at least in my opinion, if you're not already holding the crypto that gets added to an exchange, a lot of times is once you get that pop, just flip it and get rid of it. Somebody asking if I'm drinking some beers. Yeah, I actually have. I bought this from Erie Brewing Company. I bought a 12 sampler pack. Not the greatest as far as, I don't know. I heard a couple people say Erie Brewing Company is pretty good. This is a blonde style ale. They had this like cherry wheat beer that was literally tasted like, it was like the sweetest. It tasted like soda. It was terrible. But this one's not bad. The Bayfront Blonde. If anybody's drinking anything good, would love to hear it and hear a little bit about where you're dialing in from, what you're drinking. CoinBase, what is up, my man? So Ripple, a couple different people asking about Ripple. Ripple had a pretty interesting day as well. I believe they have some type of event going on right now. And there's a lot of news. They actually, I'm pretty sure, not positive off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that they paid Ben Bernanke to speak at, let's see here. Yep. So Ben Bernanke, who was the former chairman of the Fed, chairman of the Federal Reserve in the United States, was speaking at the Ripple conference. They have their Swell conference. This was a lot of more kind of buying into the rumors of this Ripple conference and selling it as soon as it happened. A lot of big news was announced today from Ripple. Nothing really happened at all. So I'm sure, you want to, if you're a Ripple investor. I am not. I don't really have any money in Ripple, but if you are a Ripple investor, then I'm sure this is an interesting conference for you and something you want to keep an eye on there as well. But for me personally, I'm not too into Ripple, and it's to me. Drinking a few drugs here. And looking at these questions, what is up, everybody that is just taking the time to join? Yeah, pumpkin beer. I actually had a pretty good. I had a Dogfish Head pumpkin ale this weekend. That was actually awesome. Dogfish pumpkin was pretty legit. It's pumpkin beer season, but some pumpkin beers are freaking disgusting. So, what is up with ARK? Yeah, we can pop over, take a look at ARK. Real quick, I'll get into Sagar. Am I going to buy Stellar Lumen? No, I am not going to buy Stellar Lumen. I think that if you own Stellar Lumen before this news, great. You made some profit. Hopefully you took some of that profit because it was up 150% at one point in time. But for me personally, I wouldn't buy in on a day when that crypto is up over 100%. I think, it's already pulled back from the all-time highs of the day as far as that goes. Then as far as it goes now, I bet you, who knows, but I would think that Stellar Lumen continues to pull back a little bit after this, and this was just people buying into it on expectation of a jack up in price. It obviously did. Now people are taking profits and hopping out of it. So we'll have to see there. So, too late to buy Salt. I don't think it's too late to buy Salt, but Salt hasn't been a great investment so far. I picked up a little bit on Ether Delta right after the ICO, and it went down pretty quickly, and I just took the loss and moved on. So it hasn't really done much. Paulie Walnuts, appreciate that. Super chat, my man. Thank you so much. And as far as Salt booming in the next few days, I don't know. I mean, it already had a little bit of a bump, but it sold off pretty quickly from that initial kind of spike from Bittrex. I don't know. I don't see Salt having a crazy bump up after a lot of the things that already kind of have been announced by it. So we'll have to see. They have a good team behind them though, so we'll go through that as well. Ethereum thoughts. Obviously, a lot of interesting things coming out of Ethereum. They have, from my perspective on Ethereum, I'm a little bit surprised that it pushed up to 350 last night, or fairly recently, within the past 48 hours. And with that being with that being said, pushed up to about 350. It hasn't had that level of success that I thought it was going to have, based upon the Metropolis hard fork and the things like that and the technical improvements that were going on. So I was a little bit surprised that ETH hasn't done that incredibly well, but it is what it is. There was a point in time where I was really, 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 really excited about Ethereum, and I thought Ethereum was going to way outperform Bitcoin. I'm starting to believe more and more in the technology behind Ethereum, but starting to think that more and more people seem to just want to have Bitcoin be that store of value, and they're looking at Ethereum not as much for the investment returns and more for the ability to build decentralized applications and do a lot of other things on that as well. So I'm a big fan of Ethereum. That's still, I would say, my second largest holding right now. At one point, Ethereum was my largest holding. Now, Bitcoin is I probably have about 35% of my portfolio in Bitcoin, maybe about 30% in Ethereum. Still very confident in it moving forward, but I think Bitcoin might, depending upon how things go with this hard fork, it'll be pretty crazy. But we'll have to see moving forward. Yeah, but a lot of people have said, ETH has been moving super flat, and we'll see. So Alex mentioned, what do I think about the fact that Manetha, if you're playing the Manetha drinking game, drink up, baby. But outside of that, Manetha hasn't been added to Bittrex. Black Moon Crypto hasn't been added to Bittrex or Polo. It looks like Bittrex is starting to, outside of just Manetha and Black Moon Crypto, Manetha has been a freaking dog, first of all. And I'm so mad that I didn't sell my Manetha. It is what it is, but I could have sold my Manetha for 3x of what. There was one point in time where it was about 3x what it was at the ICO on an ETH pairing basis. And for a while, it traded at minimum 2x. And now it's well below ICO price on an Ethereum perspective. So I'm number one, I hate myself for not selling all my Manetha at a significant profit. And that was a big, big lesson for me. I got greedy and it went up quickly to about 3x, and then it went back down to 2x. And I was like, oh, well, this is going to go back up to 3x once it hits Bittrex and Poloniex, and I'm going to make a shit ton of money. And it hasn't hit Bittrex or Poloniex. It hit Binance. Literally nothing happened when it hit Binance. And Manetha is seems to me as dead as dead can get. But just going through some of these questions as well, trying to get a good feel for what everybody's asking. So a couple different people mentioned BitShares. I'm not a big BitShares fan personally. I know a lot of people like it, and it's actually BitShares got removed from Bittrex for whatever reason. I don't know if there was anything specifically provided, but I'm just not a big fan of BitShares personally. It's not super incredibly appealing to me. I know a lot of people say, oh my God, it has a decentralized exchange. Yeah, but there's 50 other decentralized exchanges as well. And quite frankly, I think a lot of other decentralized exchanges that are doing things that have better technology probably, and that have been around for less time and have more momentum. So I am not a big, and you could look too, as far as BitShares goes, in the past 3 months, you can see there was that all-time high, and BitShares has basically just been off a steep cliff for the past couple months, going from, forget what the valuation at its peak was, over $1 billion valuation really, and now well below $250 million, so about 75% down from its all-time highs. But we'll have to see what goes on there. But personally, I think there's probably better places to put your money, and things like that. Banco Band-Aids. Somebody asked, what do I use to purchase BTC or Ethereum? Coinbase has high fees. Use GDAX. It is the Coinbase. It is Coinbase's, let's say, institutional investing platform, but I would definitely use GDAX instead of Coinbase. You use the same, it's the same account. Coinbase owns GDAX. It's the same account, login information, the same two-factor authentication, all the same stuff. But just use GDAX because the fees are significantly lower as well. Somebody asked, is Bittrex safe? Weird news out on Cointelegraph. And I'll give this advice to, I'll give this advice to anybody. And then I see a question. What is up, Dusty? I see a question as far as Chainlink, so I'll hop into that as well. My thoughts on buying from exchanges. What you want to do with any exchange, I think the only exchange, quite frankly, I'm really comfortable leaving my money on is honestly Coinbase or GDAX. I like Bittrex a lot, but I've used Bittrex, I've used Poloniex, I've used Liqui, I've used Binance, I've used EtherDelta. I will trade on every single one of those exchanges. I will trade on Bittrex. Primarily, I enjoy Bittrex the most, but I'll trade on Bittrex. I'll do Poloniex if I have to, but for the most part, everything that's on Poloniex is on Bittrex. So I don't really utilize Poloniex anymore, but Binance for newer coins, EtherDelta for newer coins, although EtherDelta is decentralized, and then Liqui for some newer coins as well. With that being said, if you're going to buy something, especially if it's an ERC20 token, which like the majority of these tokens are, I would definitely try to, once you buy them, just get them off the exchanges. If it's a buy and hold for you, get them off the exchanges and then hold them, whether it's in a Ledger Nano S or if it's in a Treasure or if you have a hardware wallet, whatever it is, get them off the exchanges so you're comfortable, and it also is helpful there as well. Somebody asked about Electroneum. I am not a fan of Electroneum as well. I have gotten a shit ton of questions from people asking about Electroneum, probably because they have a referral system in the ICO, so they have some element of viral marketing there. So good on them for that, I guess. But they definitely have like a viral element, and there's some type of referral bonuses if you get other people to sign up for the Electroneum ICO using your link. So I know that they have that. But personally, I just don't get the value proposition for Electroneum, and a lot of people have been saying it's going to be the best way for newbies to get into cryptocurrency, and you can mine on your phone, and you can do all this stuff. And I mean, you don't need to download a Bitcoin. You don't need to download a Bitcoin node anymore and run it on your computer. Just you can download a Coinbase app, or you can do something like that. It's there's a lot of really whatever works. There's a lot of really easy things to kind of do there. So it's I just don't see the point of Electroneum, and I personally wouldn't put my money into the ICO. But as always, guys, I'm just giving my own personal thoughts. You invest where you want to invest your money, and you do what you want to do for sure. And that's kind of my thought process there. Holy crap, that's a lot of coins. Going into, so a couple different people asked a question about Litecoin. I'm not a fan of Litecoin. I just don't really have any money in it personally. Don't have any money in Litecoin. I like Litecoin. I like Charlie Lee. I get the point of it. For sure, it is a very well-run project, but let's see here. CoinDash. Coin McFace, appreciate that, my dude. So I've heard a couple different people talk about CoinDash a little bit. If you want to let me, I guess is it similar? I'm not sure if it's similar to Coinigy, or I guess there's some social elements which there really aren't within Coinigy, but I don't know if this is something that, maybe I'll check out the beta version. I'm not I'm not too familiar with it. I like Blockfolio. There's some shortcomings to Blockfolio, but for the most part, it's pretty damn easy just to, I don't keep track of all my trades and everything like that. But yeah, for sure. And then I don't know if that's Nigel. I don't want to mispronounce that one. But Cardano is another interesting one too. I mean, this one popped out of nowhere, really. Yep. There goes my light. So Cardano popped out of, for the most part, nowhere into the top 20 of CoinMarketCap one day. And it's an interesting platform. You guys might, I haven't, if I'm being, pretty frank with you guys, I haven't done an incredible amount of research specifically on Cardano. Is this more of, I know it has the proof of stake algorithm, obviously. Is this supposed to be a direct Ethereum competitor? If it is, I'd definitely be interested in hearing a little bit more about it. But I to be completely frank, I haven't done a ton of research into exactly what Cardano is trying to do. But off the top, it looks no kind of a little bit at a loss as far as Cardano goes. I really haven't done an incredible amount of research. So you guys probably in the comments might have a little bit more insight on it, and I'll do a little bit more research too. I mean, I've noticed it from a trading perspective. I've noticed it pop up, but I haven't. I mean, it was one of the, interestingly enough, I guess the one thing is, interestingly enough, it was quickly added to Bittrex out of nowhere, and it's gotten a ton of volume on Bittrex, but it isn't on any other, it's not on any other exchanges. So I don't know if there was something there where, they might know the guys behind Bittrex or whatever it might be. But yeah, if you guys have some good comments on it, I'll do a little bit more research for the next live and give you some, thoughts there as well. And per usual, try not to talk out of my ass as much as possible. So, try not to give you any crap from an investment perspective that I don't know. Somebody mentioned, do I own Chainlink? Yes, I do, and I am pretty positive on Chainlink. I am from the Chainlink perspective. I got in after the ICO in the 30-cent range or so, I would say, and to that effect, I got in in the 20-cent range and made a little bit of a trade, and then bought back in after it took a little bit more of a dip. And from my standpoint, I am really interested in, so I'm invested in Chainlink, and I'm also really interested in how it ends up functioning as an API source and as a way to connect contract data into the Ethereum blockchain and into other blockchains as well. So I think Chainlink has a really interesting use case. Just because it has an interesting use case, does it mean that it's going to be valuable? Not really, but I think for me, it's a fun one to invest in, because I think if it does well, then there's going to be some really big benefits to that. And obviously from an investment perspective, I'll do a lot better. So we'll have to see there. Somebody mentioned, talk about Black Moon Crypto's future. I think they're going to have to really prove, I think they ICO'd pretty early in terms of the roadmap. So when I'm looking at Black Moon Crypto and a lot of these other cryptocurrencies that are companies that have ICO'd pretty early, with that being said, with that happening, people are looking for cryptos that have some level of product advancement, some level of news. So these companies that have ICO'd really early on in their product roadmap, you can see it with a lot of them. You could see it with, so Kyber Network really popped after the ICO, but at the same point in time, it's had a little bit of a sell-off since then. And it's popped after the ICO, but it's really kind of fallen off a cliff after the ICO. So with that being said, I've seen that with that. I've seen that with Status. I've seen that with a couple other cryptos where they have this really grand vision. They have a lot of good things going for them, but it is the actual product itself, the company, is kind of far down the line. So you're really betting on the long-term success of that product. And if the product doesn't turn out to do much, or if they take longer to develop than they've talked about before, it makes it a lot more difficult, I would say, to kind of own that and see that head down while Bitcoin and Ethereum and whatever is continuing to do well. And guys, please definitely ask away on the questions. I try to answer as many as I freaking possibly can. Try to answer as many as I can. If there's something you absolutely want answered, throw it in a super chat, and I will guarantee I'll get to that. But as much as that goes, I try to answer every question that I have some level of insight to bring. So if I don't answer your question, a lot of times it's just because I don't have much value to add there, unfortunately. I try to understand as much as I possibly can in the crypto world, but we'll have to see there. So 2 questions real quick. Christine asked about OMG, and then Caleb asked about Civic. So I actually, and I talked a little bit about it, I made a video about it previously, but OMG and Civic, I took about half my initial investments off the table, both Civic and OMG, and moved them into Bitcoin and into Ethereum. OMG, I got in when it was at $1 or so, and it went up. I didn't even put that much in, but it turned into a lot. I got into OMG when it was about $1, and I sold it at about $8 or about $8.30. So I took a little bit of profit off the table, and I'm still holding about 50% of my original OMG position. From Civic's perspective, I got into Civic at the ICO, and then I sold about half of it just to basically just to get into the into Bitcoin during this run. So I made this move when I took some of my OMG profit and took some of my Civic profit off the table and put it into Bitcoin when Bitcoin was about $4,800. So that's turned out to be a decent move so far, with Bitcoin at $5,700 and Ethereum doing all right as well. So my boy Wanzo loves mining, talking about BitConnect in beast mode. Not a BitConnect fan at all. Not a BitConnect fan at all. And my man Crypto Numbnuts. So am I a pump and dumper? No, I'm not. So I don't know if you want to. Because I answer questions from people. If you want to call me that, then go for it, baby. And somebody asked if they have my affiliate link for BitConnect. It's cryptobobby.com/unicorns and rainbows is my BitConnect affiliate link. If you go there, that's really what it's gonna lead you to everlasting wealth and prosperity and becoming a multimillionaire. So somebody mentioned Tether. Coiny McCoinface, my dude, mentioned Tether. Tether is interesting because, I've heard been a lot of people talking about whether Tether is solvent, whether it's just printing money or it's not, basically whether it's printing money or if it's full of shit or not. There are a lot of different things that, let's see here. So there's a lot. If you search Tether scam, there are a couple different things that come up. I think they recently had an audit. They apparently had an accounting firm go in and do an audit about so they apparently had an accounting firm go in and audit the fact that they actually held US dollars in a bank account for their for the Tether that they have. I would play around a little bit. I mean, what the purpose of Tether for basically the purpose of Tether for you, if you're a trader or if you're utilizing it with Bitcoin or with whatever trading pairs, if you use it with Bittrex, I'll just pop over to, let's see, Bittrex here. The purpose of Tether is to kind of get in and out of a cryptocurrency fast if you really want to. If you really absolutely need to, it's to get out of that cryptocurrency quickly. I would not hold Tether long term at all. If you want to just quickly, if you think like, okay, Bitcoin is going down quickly, I want to get out and I want to buy back in lower on Bittrex and I don't want to move my money back to CoinBase or Gemini or whatever it might be, then you can use Tether. But on the other perspective, if you want to hold there is somewhat of a possibility that Tether might just be some kind of fairy tale, and there's really not the amount of dollars that they say it is, and that Tether could blow up into nothing. I think that is a possibility. Is it a distinct possibility? I don't know. We'll have to see. But with that being said, I wouldn't hold anything in Tether long term, just like I wouldn't hold money in the exchanges long term. Hold it yourself. If you want to use Tether for short term, just quickly do it. You'll be fine probably. But if you go and you have thousands of dollars in Tether and you go back in your exchange 6 months from now and realize that all your Tether is gone, then that could be a problem for you. So we'll have to see. Tether is going to moon, yeah. It's that $1. Just trade those 99 cents to $1 swings and you're Gucci. So a couple different people talking about where will Bitcoin correct to, and definitely an interesting discussion. I'm not a big chart guy personally. I like understanding what other people are saying from a chart perspective, but I'm not as far as things go, I'm not your classical chartist like a lot of these other guys are. I still think Bitcoin has a bit of momentum and has the ability to continue its run. If it does have a correction, that's fine. I'm buying more. So we'll have to see. But I think Bitcoin and cryptocurrency just in and of itself is interesting because the support levels and the psychological levels in crypto always seem to be so massive. It's like once Bitcoin broke $5,000, it shot through the damn roof. So we'll see, but I don't necessarily know if I see Bitcoin dropping substantially. I mean, it could certainly happen. I can't predict the future. For me personally, all the Bitcoin I have and all the money that I have in the space, it's in right now. I'm not waiting necessarily for a dip, or I'm not kind of going to I don't have my money out of crypto waiting to buy back in, anticipating a dip. I have my money in now, and I'm waiting for it to prove one way or another. I mean, if it goes down substantially, I might take a little bit of profit off the table and then try and buy back in lower. But right now, I don't see any reason to do that. I don't. If there is a reason for me to do that, then I'll try to come to that conclusion myself and tell you guys why I'm doing that. But we'll see we'll see. But I don't necessarily know if Bitcoin or anything like that is going to necessarily crash at a specific point in time. We'll definitely keep an eye on that. I mean, obviously that's a big thing, because if Bitcoin crashes, I think the altcoins have already gotten their asses kicked. And when Bitcoin takes another dive, I would imagine that it's the entire market taking a dive and not necessarily just Bitcoin. So I think you'd see a sell-off in Bitcoin and the altcoins as well. Not necessarily just a sell-off in Bitcoins into the altcoins, which would be possible, but I think is less likely. So we'll see there. Somebody mentioned the SEC chairman today on CoinDesk trash crypto. I mean, I think that's just people. That's like every day there's some banker in a freaking Joseph A. Bank suit and a shitty tie talking about or some regulator who has no idea about anything talking about crypto and either ripping it to shreds or saying something else. But I mean, as far as it goes for me, I'm. You guys know me. I'm bullish on the future of cryptocurrency. I'm bullish on the future of a lot of this stuff. Could it go down short term? Yes. I think we're going to continue to see a big rise, at least in Bitcoin, at least in Ethereum. And I think this is really interesting too. I didn't even see this article yet, but this is one of the big reasons that I think that it is that I think I'm bullish on Bitcoin and a lot of other cryptocurrencies, is because it's so difficult to assess the actual volume of. Chris Smith, thank you, my man. I don't have enough money to buy. Actually, no, I do. I'm a BitConnect millionaire. I'm just kidding. I definitely have enough money. Have you guys not seen my garage? Because I have books and knowledge and Lambos in my garage. Books and Lambos and knowledge. Books and Lambos and knowledge. And so I appreciate that super chat, my dude. Thank you very much for it. But getting back to that, if you have a real question, definitely let me know, Chris. But, with the Bank of America report and a lot of this information, the difficulty to assess the value of Bitcoin is something that's really interesting because people don't know if they should classify it as a currency, if they should classify it as a commodity, how they should classify it, how they should analyze it, how they should value it. They just are, it's like blowing Wall Street's mind. And then, with that being said, I think it makes it it reduces the price restrictions it reduces a lot of the restrictions from a pricing perspective on Bitcoin and on Ethereum and things like that, because there is no price to earnings ratio. There is no revenue for Bitcoin. There is none of that. There's no traditional valuation, traditional Wall Street valuation methods for Bitcoin like there is for whatever. So, yeah, it makes it a lot more difficult, and it removes some of the quote unquote shackles for things. Doge starting to pump. As I've said before, I'll say it again. Dogecoin is what got me into cryptocurrency back in like 2013. So I will forever be a Doge fan. I don't have any money in Doge anymore. But yeah, I will forever be a Doge fan just because it's what got me into crypto and what I was really excited about as well. So I talked a little bit about selling some of my OMG, about 50%. As far as the outlook, I still really like OMG, but I don't know if I'm just getting this weird feeling or not. And it's just kind of a gut feeling, and who knows if I'm right or if I'm wrong. But I just see, I don't know if this is a peak or not, or whatever it might be. But I'm kind of just getting the feeling that in some cases, OMG is cooling off a little bit as far as the excitement and the interest behind it. Obviously, a lot of people are still interested in it. And I still have 50% of my initial investment in it. But I'm not seeing a lot of momentum in, since really kind of September 1st or so, or the beginning of September when things peaked. So until I start seeing that, I'm probably going to continue to keep the rest of my I'm going to stay out of putting a ton of the rest of my kind of investments in OMG. So I think right now, I don't know if it's just sometimes you feel like certain things are losing a little bit of steam, and OMG was the crypto of August and of early September. And now people are like, all right, I got new things to worry about. I'm on to Chainlink. I'm on to Walton, whatever the hell it is. There's new crypto that people are pumping their money into or getting excited about or whatever it might be. So, we'll have to see where it goes from here, but it's one of those things. So Chris mentioned Neo price prediction. That was definitely another one that's Neo's had an interesting, and AirSwap is another one. I'll hop into AirSwap as well. Hedman, I don't know if we can say OMG is a big disappointment so far. It's been a disappointment since September, but I mean OMG ICO'd at less than $1 and is up still at $8. So it's tough to call 800% return. I think OMG is 24x since its ICO. So I mean that's pretty. If you got in on the OMG ICO, which I don't think a lot of people did, but OMG is pretty damn ridiculous since 24x returns is outrageous. Neo, obviously an interesting month or so. It was down quite a bit in the sub 20 range and had a really big spike, almost up to $40 again, and has had a little bit of a sell-off since kind of everything has happened. Stabilizing around $28 in the past couple days or so. I am not. I hopped on the Neo train at. Let's see here. I'll show you when I hopped on the Neo train. I know I think there's still a good amount of Neo bag holders. I got in on Neo when it was about $8. So back in late July, I got in at Neo at about $8, and I ended up selling it when it was at about $38 or so. So I took some nice profits with Neo. I am not in at all on Neo right now. The China stuff scared me. Definitely going to be honest about that. The China stuff freaked me out a little bit. and I didn't know because everybody and their mother was talking about like Neo is the Ethereum of China. It's the Ethereum of China. Every ICO in China is going to run Neo. And then all of a sudden this China regulation news came out and I was like, oh shit, I'm selling this stuff. And with that being said, I hopped out of it. So, it's gotten some stabilization. It's made a good run, but maybe similar to OMG. I don't know if it's like, I don't want to say its best days are behind it, but like Neo and OMG were like the two cryptos in August that like everybody was freaking the hell out about and like just pumping money into. And then since a lot of the Chinese regulation, Neo has just gotten really hit hard with that. But yeah, I guess a little bit of thoughts on Neo there. Would I invest in Neo? Personally, I'm not, because I try to keep things to like 5 or 6 crypto at a given time. But with that being, with going on that, I'm not turned off by Neo. So we'll see there. And somebody else mentioned AirSwap. So AirSwap I got in on the AirSwap ICO. They had a 3 Ethereum personal cap, and then I think they opened it up, but I missed the point when they opened it up. So where do we got here? So on my Twitter, if you guys don't follow me, here, shoot a follow over there. But so I got in on the AirSwap ICO. They're doing some nice things, I think. I have no idea what's going to go on with the AirSwap ICO. Depending upon how things happen, I'm assuming it'll be on Ether Delta tomorrow. I believe it's transferable tomorrow morning. I believe when it's transferable at like 10 a.m. is when I'll be able to transfer my tokens and move them, and maybe move them to Ether Delta if I want to move them, or whatever it might be. But they added Mike Novogratz to their board of directors, or he's one of their advisors. Novogratz is the dude who made $250 million on an Ethereum trade. He bought $500,000 worth of Ethereum when Ethereum was like $1 or $2, and ended up selling it for $250 million. Bought a private jet, and now is opening up a $500 million crypto hedge fund. So I'm insanely jealous of him. He's an ex-Goldman guy, Fortress investment guy, whatever. But he's being added to the AirSwap team or advising team. I think, in my opinion, who knows what happens. I feel like there's been a lot of ICOs recently that the second they've gotten added to Ether Delta, they've actually been trading below the ICO. I think that I'm hoping AirSwap is going to be trading above the ICO price. The one thing about AirSwap is that depending upon a lot of these decentralized exchanges that aren't necessarily functioning yet, or they don't have like a full, like Kyber killed it after the ICO and then has sold off significantly since the ICO. What I might do if let's just say AirSwap is trading for 2 or 3x its ICO price. I'd love for it to be trading at 3x its ICO. If that happens, I put 3 Ethereum into the ICO. I'd probably sell, let's say, 6 or 7 Ethereum worth and let the other 2 ride, and then just take some profit and move on. That's probably what I will do if that opportunity presents itself. And then, because I think that in a lot of cases, something like AirSwap might go down. I've just gotten the feeling that a lot of these decentralized exchanges have spiked hard right after the ICO. And then once people realize, like, hey, I can't actually do anything with these, with these ICOs or with these decentralized platforms yet, then I'll probably try to sell off. So we'll see what happens, but I'm excited to see what happens with AirSwap tomorrow. They had a fairly well-run ICO, pretty interesting, KYC concept and everything there. So we'll see what goes on. A lot of people talking about Ripple in the comments. Again, I talked about Ripple a little bit previously. I think that people bought into Ripple prior to their swell conference, and it hasn't really done much since then. I don't know if the buying opportunity for now, or if you're talking about short-term trading, but I'm not in on Ripple right now. I wouldn't touch it as of. I mean, it's actually not a bad time to buy if it was up 28 cents, and if you like Ripple and you want to buy in a pullback. Today's a little bit of a pullback, so we'll have to see what what ends up going on there. Somebody's asking about Bitcore. I have no idea what Bitcore is. So somebody asked about engine tokens. I have them in my wallet right now. I don't think they're transferable. We'll have to see what happens with the ICO, or kind of how they finish out the ICO. I would have liked to see them sell out faster, quite frankly. It's been at like 80 something, 89%, 90% for a while. I don't know if they've updated this or not, but I would have liked to see this sell out faster. I don't know if this is going to be like a Black Moon crypto that ends up trading down after the ICO. If it is, then it's not going to be, that's obviously not going to be, great news. But anything that doesn't sell at its ICO quickly, I think is at a disadvantage. So we'll have to see there. But yeah, for right now, I guess I'm going to take a look as soon as it hits the exchanges, see what direction it's trading in. But yeah, not sure as of right now what I'll end up doing with it. If it's a quick flip, or what it might end up being. But yeah, mine's sitting in my wallet right now. And a couple different people mentioning, so I'm taking a look here. ARK is a couple other ones. ARK had a real big run in mid-September, and then has had a bit of a pullback since. Depending upon when you got in, I mean, if you got in July or August, which I doubt you did, probably. Looks like the majority of people got in on, in August or so. I'm not big in on ARK right now personally. It's definitely an interesting platform. I think they actually redid the website too, which looks a lot better than the last time I talked about it. So good on them for redoing the website and having an integration with Ledger Nano S as well. But for me right now, there's maybe some more interesting places for me to put my to put my investments, and more interesting technology behind it for me. But we'll definitely I think ARK is one to continue to watch. But it looks like, I mean, at least in the past month or so, it's one of those just altcoins that had a really fantastic spike in August, September, and has had a pretty steady sell off over the months of September and October. So somebody mentioned affinity mining. Really haven't looked into it too much. There's obviously a shit ton of ICOs. With that being said, anybody that's anything that, I mean, granted, profit sharing is if you need the startup capital or whatever it might be to run a mining startup, or whatever the kind of situation might be. A lot of the cloud mining and things like that, they could probably get some type of a loan, or I don't know. I'm hesitant on the mining startups. I'm hesitant on any cloud mining, because in a lot of cases, why would those companies share profits with you? Why would they not just? There's probably a million different forms of funding that they could do that wouldn't involve profit sharing, and that would just be either some type of loan or something else. So I'm hesitant to recommend that as well. And as you guys are, definitely ask questions. I am out of one beer, so I'm gonna run down to the fridge and get my next beer. So gonna get the next beer. Give me 5 seconds, and I'll be right back. And we're back. So a lot of questions about 10x. As far as 10x goes, I am no beer fridge under the desk, unfortunately. As far as 10x goes, 10x has gotten hammered since its big spike back in. Let's see here. 10x had a really big spike kind of in some of the altcoin rush, and then where do we have pay token? Here we are. SC2 player, I don't necessarily have a crypto happy hour schedule. I should probably do it, but it's just kind of whenever I can. So I try to announce it on Twitter before I end up doing the happy hour, and then I try to also schedule it on the YouTube as well. So if you guys want to get notified anytime I do a crypto happy hour, I'm about to do a crypto happy hour, hit the notify button on the YouTube or on the YouTube app. So hit that notify button. If you're subscribed, you just press the little notify, whatever, the bell, whatever the hell you want to call it. So do that, and that'll be the best way to find out every time I'm going live. And then I try to tweet about it as well, just so you guys can get a good feel for when I'm going live. But I don't have necessarily a set schedule, just because my schedule is kind of all over the place. I'm going to be traveling for work for the next 2 days, actually. So probably won't be able to do any like crypto happy hours then, because I'll be out of town in a hotel, whatever it might be. But yeah. And that beer's not bad. So, with 10x, had an incredible spike in mid-August. A lot of people made a lot of money, and then it has dropped back down. I think there's a lot of bag holders now that have ridden that wave down, unfortunately. Thanks, Acapulco Ron. Appreciate that, my man. I like 10x. I like what they're doing. I like how they market things. I tried to get in on the ICO. It was one of those that sold out in 10 minutes, and you had to jack up your gas price on the ETH network to get in on the ICO. I didn't get in. I had one of my good buddies get in on the ICO instead of me, so I was jealous. But with that being said, it's a good project. I don't know if it's worth what it's priced at. I don't know if it's worth $200 million. I mean, I don't know if a lot of the cryptocurrency and coin market cap is worth what it's worth, but it's one of those projects where eventually people are going to be, I feel like, pretty easy to value. It's going to be easier to value 10x than it will be to value Bitcoin or Ethereum in the future. So depending upon the number of people that are utilizing the app and the number of, how much revenue they make and all that type of stuff. So 10x is a useful company. I like what they do. They've been doing a good job. I am not invested in 10x. I'm not a big. I like what 10x, what Monaco, what Metal are doing, but I don't personally see a ton of like investment opportunity on my end from investing in like the credit card coins as well. We'll hide that, homie. Somebody mentioned, what do I think about Paragon coin and Electroneum? So I mentioned Electroneum before. Not a big fan of Electroneum. I don't see any real value in what they're trying to do. Lydia, thanks for taking the time to join. Appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. And then Paragon, I am not a fan of Paragon coin. I've ripped on them before, honestly, but so I don't really need to rip on them again. But they've been spending an absolute ton of money advertising, and then not that that's a bad thing, because some of the other cryptos have spent a lot of money advertising as well. But with that being, going to that point, I just like they to me, it just seems like they have an ICO and they're just like, hey, we're gonna put marijuana and blockchain together. Give us your money, because weed is cool and people like to smoke weed, and people also like to invest in ICOs, and that's our strategy. So I'm not a big fan of Paragon coin. I don't know if you could, quite frankly, convince me otherwise. Maybe maybe somebody is, but we'll have to see there. I haven't done a ton of research on Substratum. I think Substratum got added to Binance, and that was kind of one of the big pushes. But I think it's a sub 100, or it's like between 100 and 150 on CoinMarketCap, and was in a lot of cases like compared to Manetha, or it's in that like range of coins. And a lot of people are pretty excited about Substratum, but I'm not. I haven't done a lot of research yet, quite frankly. Carl, no problem. Joining late to the party, man. Happy to have you here. And guys, if you haven't been here for the whole time, feel free to ask as many questions as you want. I try to answer them all and get into everything there. But yeah, I mean, as far as I'm happy to repeat some stuff or talk about some things. So definitely feel free to ask away and trying to be as helpful as possible for you as well. So 0x, was one of those cryptos that had a crazy spike after the ICO in August, went freaking through the roof, valued at almost $300 million, or about $300 million, and is now settled back at under $100 million. So it's less than 50% it was at its all-time high at its peak. Mark, I don't know if I don't know if that's happening, my man. Got to keep Bitcoin life and home life separate, right? Or she doesn't exist, and you'll never know. But 0x is interesting platform. Their portal is pretty cool, and with that being, the portal is pretty cool. What they're trying to do is really interesting. Decentralized exchange where you could trade, whether it's the 0x token or if you could trade, ETH, ERC20 tokens for OMG, or if I want to trade, whatever it might be, I could trade OMG for, pay token, whatever. Pretty interesting platform. I was talking a little bit about it previously, but talking a little bit about it previously, but I think that decentralized exchanges are going to be huge. It's going to be a really big deal for a lot of people, whether it's just simplifying the process, reducing risk, whatever it is, avoiding detection by the authorities, whatever the hell you want to say. Decentralized exchanges are going to be a cool thing moving forward. And there's, whether it's 0x project, whether it's Ether Delta, whether it's Kyber Network, whether it's AirSwap, there's a lot of different companies or like a lot of different companies basically attacking decentralized exchanges with different approaches, whether it's fully on the blockchain, whether there's this concept of oracles, whether these relayers, whatever it is. There's a lot of different things that go into it. 0x is an interesting one from an investment perspective. I'm not in on it yet, but I'll keep an eye on it. I think that the one thing I would definitely be aware of is that it seems like for me that these, like I said before, in regards to maybe how I'm going to play AirSwap, but it seems like these decentralized exchange tokens, prior to actually having the exchange themselves really in place and getting a lot of utilization, will spike at the ICO and then sell off after the ICO. And then what I'm hoping will happen for a lot of people that own these is that once they actually have a fully functioning product in place, their tokens will begin to pick up value because you probably get the benefits. A lot of them is you get the benefits of trading that, of owning that token or trading that, and you're paying less fees, whatever it might be. So we'll have to see what happens with 0x, but what they're trying to do is definitely admirable, and I could dig it for sure. As far as owning it, I don't own it. I don't know if I'd buy it now, but we'll have to see. So somebody asked, what currency do I think will become mainstream and acceptable by retail? I think we probably still have a long way to go. I know there's different things like BitPay and Mike, thank you for that. Thank you for that super chat, man. Really do appreciate that. If you have any questions, definitely let me know, Mike. Other than that, I do appreciate it. But outside of that, guys, kind of going into it too, if there is, I just lost my train of thought there. As far as the actual currencies that will be accepted by mainstream retail, right now, I don't think Bitcoin is really the answer from me. Doesn't mean it can't become the answer. Doesn't mean it can't become the answer at all. BitPay has their ability to accept merchant payments. Coinbase also has that concept as well from a merchant tools perspective, and how they can typically, whether it's an API or something like that. But Bitcoin definitely has a lot of room to go in terms of improving upon that. Outside of Bitcoin, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what can really move there. But for me personally, I feel like a lot of people are now just using cryptocurrency as cryptocurrency as a store of value and as a speculative investment, and are not. The majority of people, at least in my opinion, seem to be interested in speculating and buying cryptocurrencies. Some people, I think there's a minority, but some people, are buying these cryptocurrencies, there's a good amount of people out there, I'm sure, but that buy these cryptocurrencies, and they want to not only own them as a store of value, but also transact in them daily, to spend and to do whatever they want. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. But as of right now, I don't know if we're really technically in the spot that we need to be to go through it. So Mike, thank you again for that super chat. Asked about Rubycoin. This is not one I have a ton of familiarity with. This spike does not. It's a little bit of an uncomfortable spike for me, and to be pretty frank, so I don't know too much about Rubycoin. It's on Bittrex, which is always nice, but it's only on 3 places. It's really on Bittrex. I'm always a little bit wary of some of these coins that have been around for a number of, since for 3 years or so, and then out of nowhere spike randomly up to massive gains. So I'm a little bit wary when I see this type of movement, whether it's some type of pump, or if there's some type of coordinated effort behind it, because this was definitely a small enough crypto where, pump and dump could do this. If there's some type of news behind that, Mike, definitely let me know. I'm not exactly sure, if there is some type of news as far as why this would pump, or what happened and kind of how it pumped, or really what was going on with it. So not a ton of information there, but for me personally, this isn't one that I would really put any type of weight behind on my end. Bitcoin Silver is coming out. Sounds like a joke to me, but I wouldn't doubt if somebody comes out with Bitcoin Silver, then Bitcoin Platinum, then like Bitcoin fucking whatever, and we have like 70 bajillion Bitcoins. So and people have asked about Bitcoin Gold in the past too before, and that's something that I'm not putting a bunch of weight into from the standpoint of Bitcoin Gold. I don't know really how much Bitcoin Gold, how much that's personally going to be worth, or really if that's going to be worth a damn. But we'll see what ends up happening with that. But for me personally, probably what's going to end up happening is I'm most likely just going to, when I get that Bitcoin Gold, or if it's the Segwit 2X coin, whatever the heck that's going to be called, probably end up flipping through that. Amin, thank you for that super chat as well, so appreciate that. But I'm probably going to end up just flipping those back into Bitcoin or back into Ethereum, but probably most likely back into Ethereum as well. So somebody asked, what are my thoughts on BitConnect and their investment platform? You must be new here, my friend, because I am not a BitConnect fan. Anybody that tells you they can make you 40% monthly interest is full of shit. And there is no trading bot. It's a pyramid scheme. And if you really want to become a BitConnect millionaire, just see my video from earlier today, and I'll tell you the exact steps to become a BitConnect millionaire, because there's this incredible trading bot that's not fugazi, and it's real life, and there's a trading bot. It's volatility trading, guys. It's volatility trading. So a couple different thoughts about altcoins, and it has been interesting to see. To see altcoins take a little bit of a, take for the most part a little bit of a dive as Bitcoin has really made a run up. Has really made a run up from the perspective of the overall crypto marketplace and the crypto dominance. One thing that's pretty cool to see, and you could see it here, but unicorns, my dude. The Bitcoin dominance, which at one point was, you were talking Bitcoin was extremely dominant in terms of the overall market capitalization, usually hovering well over 80-85%. And then USI Tech, get that Ponzi scheme BS out of here. Bitcoin went all the way down from 85% in terms of the market capitalization. Leonardo, thank you, my dude. Market capitalization percentage down to, at one point, about 37%. And Ethereum almost eclipsed Bitcoin in terms of the overall dominance of the market. That has since pretty much completely corrected. Yeah, USI Tech is BS. That is pretty much since... not fully corrected, but has moved back from Bitcoin being down to 37% market dominance all the way back up to 57%. And while a lot of that money is coming from outside, I think some of that money is coming from from new investors. A lot of that money is moved, in my opinion, probably from altcoins to Bitcoin as well. People taking those crazy altcoin profits that they've gotten and moving that back into Bitcoin because they believe that to be potentially a more secure store of value. Regal Coin is apparently the exact same thing as BitConnect, and like somebody else said, if a company can make you the simplest thing about something like BitConnect is they promise to give, basically what BitConnect is you give them money. And then they take that money that you get, and then they have this proprietary trading bot that is so smart and is able to make money on the volatility of Bitcoin so much that they can pay you 40% interest on a monthly basis. However, they take your money because they're out of the goodness of their hearts. They want to help enrich everybody. But if they were making 40% monthly interest, all they would have had to do was start off with like $1 million and do 40% monthly interest and never take money from anybody else. There is no reason on planet Earth, of why anybody, why they would ever open it up to outside investors. There is zero reason why they would take their profit. And the reason that they do that is because their fucking trading bot isn't real. If you don't know anything about Wall Street and financial institutions, algorithmic trading is a massive industry. There are companies that have algorithmic traders and software engineers and developers that absolutely crush it in real life. And I don't doubt that somebody could easily crush it and make a ton of money doing algorithmic trading with Bitcoin and with cryptocurrency because the market is so all over the place. But if you are making a shit ton of money doing algorithmic trading, then you're not going to give that. If I can make myself 40%, if I can make myself 45% or 40% monthly return on investment, then I would never, ever, ever in a million years, as much as I love you guys, as much as every single one of you in this YouTube chat is awesome, and I really love you. If I was making 40% interest month over month, I would never be like, hey guys, give me money and I'll give you 35%. No, I would just continue to make 40% and I would stack my gains and I would take $10,000 and $10,000 would turn into $14,000, which would turn into $18,600, which would turn into $22,000. And I'd be a millionaire in fucking 12 months. Let's go, baby. Coinface, even you, my man. So somebody just mentioned that, oh, heyo. Somebody just mentioned that Bitcoin and Litecoin and Ethereum all taking a little bit of a dive. All taking a little bit of a dive in the past couple minutes. And yeah, in the past 15 minutes or so, what are we seeing here? A nice little bit of a dive. And I don't know if there's something specifically driving that or what might be happening there, if there's some type of news. But yeah, it's always interesting to watch these movements. And let's see here. Percentage wise, how far are we down? It's not called a dive. It's down 1%, but yeah. Carl X, appreciate that, my man. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. Happy to help out and answer that as well. Thanks for that super chat, my dude. Yeah, so Jorge mentioned alts to explode. I don't know. It's tough for me to say if alts are gonna. At some point in time, alts will probably explode back up. At some point in time. Is that time going to be now? And is that time to buy altcoins now? Who knows? I'm still more heavily weighted in Bitcoin and Ethereum than I am in altcoins, because I think that Bitcoin could still continue to move and suck money out of the altcoins for the time being. I'm not seeing a lot of momentum in the altcoins for the most part, so I'm chilling out for now. And by chilling out, I mean having the majority of my holdings in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we'll see how that goes, but I don't know if altcoins exploding and going up. It'll be interesting to see, because sometimes they're counter-cyclical. Sometimes they both go up. This beer is giving me a freaking ridiculous amount of burps. How old am I, Bobby? Late 20s. You know my birthday and social security number as well? It will be interesting to see how the fork affects the altcoins. And I don't know, quite frankly, if anybody really knows at this point in time too, because Reg, what's up, my man? I don't really know if anybody at this point knows exactly what is happening from a fork perspective, because previously... late 20s, my ass. What are you guessing there, Blade? Am I too pretty and too young for that? I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see from a fork perspective how things end up moving. Because previously, I mean, for the Bitcoin Cash fork, Bitcoin traded down prior to the fork. The fork happened, and then Bitcoin went on a bull run. Now, on the other side of the house... Now, on the other side, Bitcoin is trading up into the fork and is basically on a bull run right now into the fork. Now, I'm definitely not in my early 20s. I wish I was. At least early 30s. What? I don't have kids. 19? You guys fucking think I am? I gotta look younger. Shit, crypto's aging me. If you guys think I'm 30. It's the lighting in here. It's got to be the lighting. Somebody asked, what's my favorite way to store altcoins? To store altcoins from that I'm not keeping on the exchanges, that I'm holding, or that I'm not holding long term. I still put them on. I mean, the majority of the crypto that too young to AARP. I'm 42 years old. I still keep the majority of my stuff on my Ledger Nano S, just because that's typically for me the best way to hey Bitcoin going down $100 in 15 minutes. Since I'm talking on this, talking live on this, if anybody has any specific reasoning behind, I don't know if there's any news right now that's driving this sell-off or what's happening, but we'll have to interested to see if there's any specific news driving this, because this is $100 in 15 minutes is not a small movement. So if this continues to go, I might have to sling some of my Bitcoin out or buy some more. We'll have to see. Somebody said, "How do you see another pullback to maybe low 5,000 before October 25?" Yeah, I mean I think that's absolutely within the realm of possibility. I mean, we're seeing a little baby bit of a pullback now. It's not really a pullback, but I mean we're down $100 in 15 minutes, so or in an hour. So I mean I think that goes to show that you can easily see a pretty substantial pullback. We'll see where that ends up and how this continues to run, but let's see here. Somebody's saying some stuff about Bittrex. Let's see, is that legit or what? So 2 hours ago, Cointelegraph text Bittrex going bust. I did not see this yet, but so I am a fan of Bittrex. I've been a fan of Bittrex. If you guys want to read this article, here you go. The one thing I will say about this is if you know your history from cryptocurrency, if you know your history from Mt. Gox and from all that shit, the second these rumors come out, get your money off the exchanges. Get your money off the exchanges. Like, if you're holding money on Bittrex right now, I've liked Bittrex. I've always been a fan of Bittrex. But if you think that, if Bittrex goes under, and I have no idea if this is legit, I have no idea if it's not. But if Bittrex goes under and you have your money on Bittrex's exchange, you're never going to see it again. Or you're going to see it at freaking pennies on the dollar. So the fact that this is even mentioned as a rumor, get your shit out of Bittrex. This is literally the first time I'm seeing it. So apologies for not knowing about it prior. I have no idea if this is impacting the price of Bitcoin at all, if it has literally any kind of bearing on it whatsoever. But this is something that, if you're not, this happened with Mt. Gox. So, well, it didn't happen with Mt. Gox. If you know the story of Mt. Gox, Mt. Gox had a lot of troubles. They got hacked a couple times, and bad things happened with Mt. Gox, but people continued to keep their coins on the Mt. Gox exchange and continue to use Mt. Gox, even while all these rumors and bad things bad things happened as well. So from that perspective, if you have a lot of money on Bittrex, if you have a lot of crypto on Bittrex, hop it out. My account has worked. I know a couple people have said they've had problems. Mine personally has been fine. I haven't had any issues with my Bittrex yet, but I'm going to be cautious moving forward. Any trades I make on Bittrex are going to be trades in, out, bang, boom, gone. So definitely be interesting news there. So definitely be aware of it. And if you have a lot of money on the Bittrex exchange, as usual, don't keep your money on exchanges long term, because you're going to be sorely disappointed when things get hacked, or not hacked. But this could certainly be a rumor, but a lot of times in crypto where there's rumors, there's news, man. So just be careful. That's where else should I put my coins? Get a Ledger Nano S, get some desktop wallets, use my Ether wallet, do what you have to do, but we should be all right. Crypto Spark, you should have sent the $10 million to me, man. That's where you should have sent the $10 million. I don't know where you sent it to, but it should have been, I'll send you over my Ethereum address and you can send it that way. So somebody else here mentioned, as I'm talking a little bit about Bittrex here, somebody else mentioned SiaCoin, and SiaCoin is my, thanks Crypto Spark, always appreciate your support, man, you are awesome. SiaCoin is my example of why you should sell after a spike in a lot of cases, because I mean, if you look here, SiaCoin was one that participated in the incredible June-July altcoin run. And then since the altcoin run, we always talk about, you always talk about buying the dips and like buying for value, like buy when it's red. Everything's going to be fine. It'll spike back up. Not everything always spikes back up, especially altcoins. That's just one thing that's one thing to understand, and one thing to always know moving forward is, yeah, we try to buy the value, and yeah, you try to buy things when they're down, and when you're buying on a red day, and when you're buying for value, whatever. And a lot of times for something like Bitcoin, that is always, literally every single time, if you bought on a Bitcoin dip, you made money, because Bitcoin is at an all-time high. Ethereum, if you bought on a dip, for the most part, you made money. It's not at its all-time high, but it's somewhat close to. Litecoin, almost. It had that crazy spike a couple weeks ago, but SiaCoin is one of those examples of like, you could have, so SiaCoin had this awesome run up over, to almost to about 2 cents, crushed it, was over $500 million in market cap. It went down, let's just say it went down to like half. It basically halved from 2 cents to 1 cent. And you're like, wow, I'm buying this. This is down 50%. I'm going to make a ton of money. This is going to go back up. And it's just continuing to bleed out and bleed out and bleed out. So you just got to be aware of that. And you have to kind of know what's going on there. So that's just one thing. I mean, at least in my mind, is some of these altcoins, they lose momentum and it's done. And I'm not saying SiaCoin, it's game over for SiaCoin. I don't know if it's going up, if it's going down, but we'll have to see there. Crypto numbnuts. I love when people bail because they don't like the crypto they like, or I'm not invested in the crypto that you guys like. Guys, if I'm not invested in a specific crypto too, it doesn't mean I hate you. It doesn't mean that I don't like that crypto. It literally just means that there's like 7 freaking billion cryptocurrencies on the planet now, and I'm not going to put my money in every single one of them, and I only want to put the money in that I can like track and things like that. So just FYI, if there is any crypto that I'm like, somebody said before, I hate Litecoin. Like, I don't hate Litecoin. I don't. I just would rather put my money in Bitcoin and Ethereum because I would. But I like Litecoin. I like Charlie Lee. I like what they do. If you invest in Litecoin, I hope you make money. If you invest in Litecoin and you make money, I'm jealous that you made money. And I hope that you do. But I'm not, yeah, we'll see there. Now, crypto, I didn't get salty, my man. You're not drinking my beer. I already have a mortgage on my house. I don't need a second one. Although, if I put my money into... So kind of funny because Crypto Spark, you're talking about sending me $10 million. So I graciously will accept that. I bought the domain name for cryptobobby.eth, but I haven't set it up yet. So in the future, if you want to send me all your ERC20 tokens to cryptobobby.eth, you will be able to. And that will go directly into my pocket. Oh, so talking a little bit more about crashing, and we're watching this live. Let's see. Let's look at the 5-minute charts. Heyo. 56.35. We are watching a little bit of a live crash. So, yeah, it's always fun watching you lose money, right? Yeah, very happy for your Dojemobile. I would love a good old-fashioned Dojemobile personally. And guys, too, I mean, I don't know if this is straight up Bittrex, if there's anything else. Oh, shit. This market is, we're moving right now. We're definitely, let's see. Oh, crap. Yeah, this is some pretty heavy sell volume coming into place. I don't have anything happening right now. We'll have to my money is all on my ledger right now, so I can't even really sell it if I want to sell it. But I'll probably stay put for right now. Google AdSense is paying me from all those BitConnect ads that everybody keeps putting on my channel. So when that comes through in the next couple of days, I'm gonna maybe be buying some cheaper Bitcoin. We'll have to see what ends up happening here. But if you guys have questions too on who knows what this is gonna really turn out to be. But let's pop over to, let's see. How's Ethereum looking? Ethereum obviously selling off as well, because Ethereum always has to follow Bitcoin when Bitcoin goes down. Litecoin following as well. And let's see what the ratio. BitConnect. So Litecoin is actually, what do we got? Let's see the charts here. Litecoin's actually doing okay from a ratio percentage. What's ETH doing here? Okay, wow. So if you had your money within the past hour, it's not massive, but if you had your money in the past hour in Ethereum or in Litecoin, both are down, but they're not down as badly as Bitcoin right now. If you see on this last hour-long green chart, but holy crap, yeah, Bitcoin is taking a little bit of a dive. That's a nice long red candle. So when did I buy most of my Bitcoin? I've pretty much been dollar cost averaging since like 2013. So the cheapest I'm not a super OG, but the cheapest I think I've gotten Bitcoin was like $200 a Bitcoin. So yeah, I've been in at that range. Why would I dump Bitcoin? Why wouldn't I buy the shit out of it right now? I'm not dumping Bitcoin, so I was just kind of talking out of my ass. But depending upon, I guess from my perspective, when I see crazy, runs that are going really hard sell-offs, I would say, or if I just sense a turn in the market, I might sell. Sometimes I'll sell a little bit of Bitcoin and see if I can buy back in lower to increase my stack. That's one thing that I will sometimes try to do to see if I can just get a little bit of an advantage there. Yeah, this is Bobby, man. Is it over? Is it time to cash out? I don't know if you can tell that from 1 hour. If there's something that if there's something specifically there that you can really understand going through this. Looks like we're heading down in the past hour or so, but we'll see there. My dollar cost average is 1,800. That's a damn good dollar cost average, man. So that's pretty fucking solid. Let's see. Somebody mentioned, where was it? So my carrier pigeon ICO, guys, I know with BitConnect going down in the past hour or so, now is a good time to bring up my carrier pigeon ICO, and this is really going to boost the price of not only my ICO but China as well, because really the purpose of this ICO is to give what I'm doing over my ICO is it's called Pigeon. White paper and website are coming shortly. And really what I'm doing with this ICO is I'm training a fleet of carrier pigeons, and we're going to take USB sticks, and we are going to, if we hit our hard cap, if we hit our soft cap, it's going to be USB sticks. If it's a hard cap, it's going to be Ledger Nano S's. And what we're going to do there is we're actually going to, we're going to be able to, since like you can't buy, in China, you can't buy Bitcoin now with fiat currency on an exchange, but there is no law for carrier pigeons. So I'm putting together this ICO. I'm trying to raise, at this point in time, it's going to be, I think it's not that aggressive. It's going to be $1 billion soft cap, $2 billion hard cap for the ICO. And then what we're going to be able to do is if you buy in, it's going to be for every 10 Ethereum you put in, you'll get 1 carrier pigeon, and you have dividend rights to that carrier pigeon. So you can name it, you can do all that good stuff that you want with it. And this is going to be great because we're going to make billions of dollars, and then from there, after we make billions of dollars, we're going to enable the volume to flow back into China as well, and really enable just Bitcoin to be a global place again. And then if any other countries try to, ban cryptocurrency or ban fiats, we got the pigeon squad ready to roll. So we'll see what happens there. Oh, hey, there's a little bit of green candle. I'll name my pigeon. Yeah, if you guys have good names for your pigeons, please let me know. Because, yeah. Oh. I definitely do not have a future in stand-up. I'm not that funny. I have like 3 jokes that I rely on. I'm going to grab one more beer. We're going for number 3. Wifey's gone tonight, traveled on business, so I'm going to go for number 3. I'm going to press the play ad button. I don't even know if that works on YouTube, but hopefully it'll pay for my 3rd beer, so we'll see. I'll be right back. Don't leave. And I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Are you fucking serious? No, it's a total joke. And I'm winded because I literally sprinted downstairs, and I don't think that ad ever played. So thank you, YouTube, for allowing me to not monetize anything in the world. 7th beer easily. Yeah, I wish it was a 7th beer. I think I have 20. I bought 2 cases of it, so I could sit here for. I have 24 beers. These are 3 down. I think I had 1 the other night, so I got 19 more, something like that. Kane, thank you for naming your pigeon Crypto Bobby. I really do appreciate that. I'm buying beer coin, yeah. And guys, if you have any questions, so outside of my awesome pigeon ICO, and don't you guys try and shit on it. Even if I don't care if it doesn't work. It's decentralized pigeons. It has to work. It has to work. It would definitely be something that's legit. Outside of that, guys, too, if you have questions on it while I'm sipping on this first beer, or 3rd beer, definitely let me know if there's anything else you want me to check out from a crypto perspective. Happy to hop into it too. Have I heard about the Etch ICO? Now, at this point in time, I haven't heard anything really about the Etch ICO and Substratum. I can definitely look into that Substratum coin. I don't know too much about it at this point in time. So I'll have to do a little bit more research on Substratum. Regal coin, not a fan of. I think it's had a decent return for a lot of people, but I'm not a big fan of Regal coin personally. Reminds me of BitConnect because it's basically trying to be BitConnect, and yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Ponzi scheme cryptos. That's just not Robbie. But somebody else mentioned, I think it was my man Crypto Spark mentioned. What do we have here? Something about my pigeons. Oh, master pigeons. The one thing too, guys, and you can really consider proof of stake the pigeon ICO proof of stake, because if the pigeons have sex and have another pigeon, then you have ownership rights to that pigeon. So essentially, as all the pigeons have sex together and they make more pigeons, you're basically just going to be getting more and more return on your investment. So instead of proof of work, it's really proof of stake. You're getting a good stake in those pigeons. So I think that's a really important distinction, and something you as an ICO investor want to be concerned with, because obviously it's basically proof of pigeon sex. This beer is not as good as the other ones. Sampler packs are great, and then they're disgusting. This one is not good. Scottish style ale, no bueno. Somebody mentioned, I think it was CryptoSpark as well, mentioned Electroneum. Yeah, there's Electroneum. Anything that would, for whatever reason, anything in crypto that has a level of a referral link definitely gets spammed all over the place. So, and I've had a lot of people even in Twitter reach out to me and send me messages on Twitter as far as, should I invest in Electroneum? My friends are want me to invest in Electroneum, all this stuff. I would definitely, on my end, I would stay away. Yeah, let's see here. I'll go into the incognito so we don't have to see my entire account, but let's see here. So if we're going on a little bit of entertainment, we got the Bitcoin order chart on GDAX, and this was kind of flying all over the place. Obviously, Coinigy was giving us a little bit of a look, but we'll see what Enigma. I've heard good things about. Numerai, not too sure of. I've heard the CEO of Numerai speak before. Sounded like a pretty smart dude. Po.it, I have no clue at all. Todd Crow is getting real aggressive with this beer, man. It's a Monday night, and I got to travel for work tomorrow, so I don't know about that. What did Charlie Lee end up saying? Civic is dead. I don't know about Civic being dead. I'm still a fan of Civic. I like Civic. Let's see. What do we got? What did Charlie Lee say? Nothing groundbreaking. So, as far as, Civic, I wouldn't say is dead by any stretch. I think Civic is potentially I think Civic has a lot of potential. It's doing well from the standpoint of actually having a product and being utilized. Like if you participated in the Civic ICO, that went well. Utilizing the Civic app, there were, I believe, 0x or a couple other ICOs have also used the Civic app as well. Somebody asked why the incognito browser. I just don't want to go into my own GDAX because it basically has your freaking whole name and all that shit and all my holdings and all that stuff right up the top. So, why not go into incognito browser? But Civic is not a crypt. I still have half of my ICO investment that I sold half of it for Bitcoin, and the rest I'm holding on to for now. So I took about 3x profit on half of it, and the rest I'm letting ride out because I do think Civic is probably one of the better run ICOs, products, utility tokens of them all. So I'm remaining positive on Civic and looking forward to seeing that bad boy run. So somebody else mentioned Nem is Nem dead. I mean, I would also, I mean, as far as things go, guys, when you say something is dead, one thing to note is it's hard to kill cryptocurrencies. And especially, I mean, you're talking about a cryptocurrency that's up 7%, so I don't really know why it'd be dead, but it's, as far as crypto goes, there's always, you can have a lot of zombie cryptocurrencies that don't get a lot of development, that don't get a lot of innovation, or the developers move on and do whatever. But it's really hard for a cryptocurrency to die because there's going to be so many people investing in it, and for the most part, as long as there's somebody out there willing to buy it, there's still a market for it, and it still can be trading. And if there's a place where it is accessible and there's opportunities to buy it, then you'll be fine. I mean, as far as Nem being dead, I don't see why that would be the case right now. But I'm not invested in Nem. I'm not a big Nem guy, but who knows why it wouldn't be dead. Shitcoins, basically shitcoins never dies. Pretty much the thought process. So Jorge mentioned Electroneum has 90,000 investors already. Cool. There could be 90,000 stupid people on the planet. I still not putting my money in it. People keep talking about Electroneum because here, I'll show you this. And you guys want a little bit of a lesson in what do we got here? Let's see. Do they have anything about the referrals? They got to have something about the referrals. Electroneum referral. Basically, you get a bonus if you referred people to Electroneum, which is why everybody and their mother is telling them to. Jorge, I don't mean to burst a bubble, but hoping for a quick. I mean, I guess I kind of said the same thing about AirSwap, but at the same point in time, I feel like AirSwap was, I don't know, maybe a little bit better run ICO and something that actually has a use case behind it. Can you still make money with ICOs? Yes, but you have to be very selective with ICOs. It's very easy. I made a video about this beforehand. Earlier today. I think I published it back at like 6 or 7 p.m. tonight. So it was the last video on the channel. And with that being said, I talked a lot about ICOs and why it is harder and harder to actually make money on ICOs because there are more ICOs that are happening, and it is something where if you are not doing your research, if you're not doing a lot of kind of work behind the scenes, that there's probably only going to be like 1, 2, 3 ICOs maybe a month, that probably really only like 1 or 2 ICOs are going to be worth your time a month from now that I think. And there's a new ICO every single day, so 28 out of the 30 are going to be pieces of shit. Outside of that, we'll see. But I mean, anything with a referral link for the most part, that is why people are buying. So just be, it's maybe somewhat hypocritical for me to say that totally, but like, because I'll post on these videos. I'll have a link for CoinBase if you want to buy $10 worth or whatever, or a referral link for Amazon or for Ledger to hop into to buy a Ledger. But I like my Ledger. It's a safe way to keep shit. So if I refer you guys, that helps me make more shit for the channel. But I'm not going to refer something like Electroneum, which I don't believe in. I don't think there's a use case for it. And yeah, so. Yeah, somebody, Edward mentioned, I'm about to sneeze. So somebody mentioned, always comes in twos. I guess I don't know if that was Electroneum, but somebody posted basically a selfie that they took with Vitalik at some conference and then pretended like Vitalik was endorsing their ICO. And then Vitalik was pissed and basically pissed about it and really like dove into them. Didn't mention them by name, but pretty funny. I didn't know that was Electroneum, but if that was, that's pretty crazy. So somebody mentioned, do I at least like Electroneum's concept? I don't have a problem with the referral system like that much. Like, I mean, I guess it is what it is. It helps from a viral marketing perspective, but I mean, look at the white paper is just It's, I mean, to me, it's, all right, let's look at the white paper. A lot of this stuff in the white paper is all very much hypothetical crap, in my opinion, at least. It's, they're building their own blockchain with the intention to get mass adoption through smartphones. Why that needs to happen, I don't really, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe there's some whatever remote chance that this is, this is something that really ends up to turn out fantastic. If you got in, good for you. If you got in, good for you. I don't wish you, if you already invest in this, I hope you make money. So first of all, I hope you make money if you already invested in this, or if you're considering investing it. I don't give a shit what you invest in. I hope you make money, because whatever, money's money. And Vitalik can be a savage for a geek, and he's also the man. But a lot of, just this white paper itself does not seem... So the CEO bought his first Bitcoins 2 years ago. Okay. Whoop-de-doo. They created their LLC or their company in July. And they have a currency that allows anybody to access their cryptocurrency, which it's really not. Like, if you want to access Bitcoin now, just download the CoinBase or download some other. There's a lot of easy apps to utilize on your mobile device to download. And they're talking about a unique mobile mining experience. Cryptocurrencies are mined with specialist equipment, blah, blah, blah. I guess if somebody can mine with their iPhone, that's kind of cool. But I'm not a big fan. I don't know. I don't see any specific value proposition to this at all where I'm really like, wow, this is cool, or this is awesome. So we'll see. You guys, outside of that, if you are new to the channel by any chance, definitely hit that subscribe button. I would really, really appreciate that. That'd be awesome. I do daily videos on crypto. If you are new to the channel by any chance, do daily videos on crypto. And then when I can, from a scheduling perspective, I'll hop in here and try to answer as many questions and do these crypto live happy hours. Just drink some beers with you guys. And as I'm finishing this beer, try to kind of go through, try to go through this process and answer as many questions as you guys have. So somebody mentioned thoughts on NEO for the long term. I think NEO is unfortunately pretty dependent on China and some of the news that comes out of China. We'll see from a technical perspective, but is there a wallet I recommend to keep altcoins? So the majority of altcoins are Top Recruit. The majority of altcoins are typically, for the most part, ERC20 tokens. And if they are ERC20 tokens, what you can really do... for the most part, where's my Ether wallet? You can use a Ledger Nano S, and then with the Ledger Nano S, you can. So I don't know if I can see all of the coins available with my Ether wallet, but basically what I would do is I would use. I use my Ledger Nano S, and then I store all my ERC20 tokens on my Ledger Nano S. And then if I need to send them to an exchange, I'll just pop in here, click on the Ledger wallet, connect my Ledger, and send them as needed. So I I store everything on my Ledger Nano S. I've heard good things about Treasure as well. So Ledger wallet here, Treasure here, and you should be good to go if you use one of those. Speaking of referral links, what do we got here? You guys really, if you feel so inclined as to be interested in a Ledger Nano S, hop over to that link, and there's your Electroneum ICO referral link. And by ICO referral link, it's literally just a link to either the two places I would buy a Ledger Nano S is number one on Amazon or number two from Ledger, Ledger as well. And typically Amazon is like a 2-day shipping. It's Prime, or Ledger is, and I'm not sponsored by Ledger at all. I make I think a 3% freaking referral fee or something like that on Amazon. But definitely I've had good experiences using it. Very safe. Treasure, I don't have a link for it. I haven't used the Treasure, but I've heard good things about that as well. And there's some other ones too. KeepKey, I've heard good things about. Basically, any hardware wallet, you're pretty much good. I would, if you have, honestly, in my opinion, I think if you have over $1,000 in crypto, you should probably get a hardware wallet, just to be safe. And it's cool because it's like you can have that, you can have all that safe as much as possible. Crypto supply thoughts on Salt. So I talked about Salt a little bit earlier. I tried to trade Salt on the way up and I actually lost money. Classic Rob. So Salt traded, let's look at the charts here. I mean, this is just CoinMarketCap, but Bitcoin's making a little bit of a comeback. So Salt got added to Bittrex today, or got announced to be added to Bittrex today. So it was trading at about $2.93. Here's the tweet. The CEO of Bittrex tweeted it out. Gets added to Bittrex, or they announce it gets added to Bittrex. Within 15 minutes, it goes from trading at $2.95 to about $4. Immediately sells off and then moves up a little bit, and now is kind of basically almost come back to normal. So the one thing that I would say there is, so Salt, I'm long term. I don't know too much, quite frankly, from Salt's perspective. I know Eric Voorhees is behind it, somewhat of like a trading lending platform, whatever, peer-to-peer lending platform a little bit. One thing from a lesson perspective is if something gets added to an exchange, it's a very quick process, and it is not typically, from my perspective, it's not something that if you weren't already holding Salt prior to this announcement, you didn't really make any money. So if you held Salt prior to, I hope you sold at the top to lock in some profits. I hope you sold at the top because you would have made about 40% or so. However, if you tried to hop on the train didn't last very long, and that Rob tried to hop on the train here I tried to hop on the train like right here, and at about let's say 350, and then I ended up selling at 340. So I just took a loss and said, fuck it. I'm not, I tried to just see how long. I saw Stellar Lumens making a really big run today, so I tried to hop in on that, and then Salt, tried to hop in and ride that wave. The wave didn't last very long, so I wouldn't buy in right. I mean, depending upon what you want to do, but I don't see a lot of momentum. I see this basically just the spikes from something getting added to Bittrex apparently don't last all that long. I had no idea that's what it stood for, CryptoSpark. That's actually kind of a smart smart acronym. So Zemmel mentioned something that's interesting. I like that wording. Almost any protocol which has its own token just for the sake of having a token will fail. Only need a handful of cryptocurrencies or currencies maximum. I don't disagree with that. I think that there are going to be a lot of cryptos that will, at some point in time, there's literally going to be like a day of reckoning. I can almost guarantee you that. There's going to be some type of crazy day of reckoning where everything just goes to shit, and whether it's, if it's led by Bitcoin or if it's a lot of these altcoins where a lot of things just somehow bad things happen. I think that at some point in time there's going to be a big altcoin sell-off, or there's going to be a big opportunity where, if I look in CoinMarketCap right now, there are how many of these cryptocurrencies, if you're talking about traditional startups, how many of these cryptocurrencies are worth hundreds of millions of dollars that are either don't even have a beta product in place, or they are not making any revenue or any profit? So I think there's going to be a point in time where, and I've talked about it before, but I'll definitely say it again, and good point, Zemla, but I think there is going to be a point in time where people are going to look at some of these cryptocurrencies and be like, A, there's no one using this shit. B, this company has gotten $500 million in funding essentially, and still hasn't put out a beta product. And C, like, they're just not doing anything, or nobody's using the platform. So why are we going to continue to put money into them or continue to hold money invested within their company? We're going to put it in something else, whether that's taking that out of crypto entirely, putting it into Bittrex, or putting it into Bitcoin, or putting that into Ethereum, or putting that into something else. So I do think at some point in time that is going to happen, and there are a lot of cryptos out there that are not necessarily needed coins. Yeah, and CryptoSpark mentions the next Lehman moment. That's definitely a possibility. I don't want to see it, but and I don't want to get all Debbie Downer and shit. But at some point in time, who knows? You even have our favorite man's Jamie Dimon talking about at some point in time, crypto's going to drop, blah blah blah. Bitcoin's going to crash, although it could go up to $100,000 and then crash. So if it goes up to $100,000 and then crashes, I'm fine. I'm fine. That's Jamie, pump it up to $100,000, and Rob is paying off his house and maybe going to buy one of those new BitConnect mobiles and ride off into the sunset. So we'll be good at that point in time. And yeah, somebody said that's exactly why you only buy into good projects long term. Definitely agree with that for sure. And guys, outside of that, I gotta travel for work tomorrow, so I have a flight fairly early in the morning. So I need to actually pack my suitcase now, unfortunately. But I appreciate everybody hanging around for the past hour and a half, whatever. If you are new to the channel, if you've never been here before, hit that subscribe button. I would really, really appreciate that. Outside of that, have any questions in the future, please let me know, whether it's commenting on the YouTube videos. If you want to shoot me a follow on Twitter, absolutely feel free to do so. Just click the link in the comments there. But really do appreciate everybody's time. Thank you so much, guys. Erie Brewing Company, the beer, the sampler pack, the Scottish Ale was not good. The American Pale Ale was good. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for your time.